The first refinement relates to the idea of the learning intentions and success criteria elements of the assessment task. I think John Hattie explains this best in the following video.
If I said to you, I'm going to teach you what Australian rules football looks like, but I'm not going to tell you what the rules are, and I'm not going to tell you how to score, but I want you to go out there and play it. For many of you, you'd give up very quickly.
In this case, specific learning intentions would be used to help students understand what they are expected to learn, and the success criteria would explain how students know they have reached this endpoint. For example, the developing understandings are ambiguous about what the students are meant to learn, and the learning outcomes are more closely related to the procedure of the task itself. In order to make this assessment task better quality, as John Hattie suggests, making the learning intentions more specific. For example, they could be changed to the following, which describes the context and content of the learning, as desired by NESA in all assessment tasks. It is also linked to the following success criteria, as students know that if their characters, events, and plot are consistent with the time period, and any imagined material is believable in this context, then they will have successfully met this learning intention. Indeed, this technique from John Hattie helps take this assessment task from having vague statements about the desired quality of work, or a 2 on the explicit quality criteria indicator in the quality teaching framework, towards a 4, in which clear statements and some elaborations are made regarding the quality. The second refinement relates to scaffolding, including cues and prompts, that help students engage in effective forms of assessment. On John Hattie's 2017 list of factors influencing student achievement, scaffolding ranks 0.82 on the effect list. This technique, elaborated on by Kang et al., explained that cues contextualize ideas and make language more accessible for students, and that prompts are the list of steps for the routine being practiced. For example, the cues in the assessment task about remembering back to their history lessons does not provide deep knowledge, since the task isn't focused on a particular concept of truth and fiction. In order to make this more contextual, the following task description could be used to provide a clearer background to the assessment and focus on making it more accessible and engaging. Another example are the prompts used in the assessment task, which are laid out in a confusing directional pattern. This would be more effective if laid out in a number or point form in order to provide clear prompts for what list of steps to take. It would also use simplified language and instructions to help students complete the task, as necessitated by the New South Wales Department of Education. Following these techniques from Kang et al. About the cues, prompts, and scaffolding will provide a clearer, more instructional assessment task and will help students better meet the outcome in 4.1a. In conclusion, learning intentions and success criteria, as well as scaffolding, cues, and prompts, are effective ways of making this assessment task more engaging and accessible.